right. Welcome to the Better Than One Marriage Podcast, where two are better than one in marriage. They have a good reward for their labor.
Absolutely.
And if one should fall, as I have many times, the other one will be there to pick them back up. I'm Ronald Coursey Jr.
And I'm Chelsea Coursey.
We're still married after many, many years of wedded bliss.
Amen.
As we've already discussed before we hit play, wedded bliss is the time that you have to really say all the things that you saved up in the time before you got married, and you were just like, I can't wait until we come together in covenant, or as a good friend of ours would say, in worship.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why is that? That's just still funny to me. Why is that the characteristic of wedded bliss? Like, it's blissful because I'm nasty. Okay. All right.
Specifically.
That's very funny.
Because everything I have to say, you can just accept it. That's the key. It's like when you're married, you accept your partner's ways. And it's just like, he's nasty. He's like, yeah, but I like him. So she's nasty, but hey, that's my woman.
That's too funny.
I know what it is.
Nah, there's other characters. Well, what would you say are other characteristics of, what are the signs that you are happily married?
Being happily married, that's actually the biggest sign.
Being happy
Literally
together.
being happy together.
So happy together.
Like, that's a typical evening or day for us, is just, we're just going to sit here and laugh.
Yeah.
Because, that's just our natural inclination, and what naturally comes out of us just being together.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Out here kicking it.
Yeah.
Whole evening. So
Yeah,
I think it's good for the children, especially Sweet Bob, because she's a little more, she's come to age. Is that the proper term?
Yeah.
A little more, she's more aware of, just life.
Yeah.
James is just in his own world, just doing whatever.
Yeah.
But Sweet Bob is, she understands. He's always like, what are y'all doing over there? And hey, what's so funny? Like, be quiet.
And she'd be trying to laugh with us, not knowing what's going on at all. And she'd be laughing inappropriately hard.
That's your daughter.
We start laughing. Here she comes. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but
she's hilarious.
It is funny. But a thing of significance that has happened is that a good friend of ours has lost his spouse, his wife.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because he issued, during the memorial service which we were at, he issued a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked people to stand up because her birthday was on the 6th and his birthday is on the 6th. That's the same birthday as me, November 6th.
It was just Ron's birthday, y'all, on Sunday.
It was.
And it was just our daughter's birthday last Tuesday.
Yes, it was. And we're out here getting older.
Yeah.
A 32 clip. That's a lot of
with a
bullets.
7-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Like, we've been parents for that long.
That's a while.
That's a while.
It's a while. It's not long, but it's a while. At least it is to us. If you out there like, I'm 50 and I got kids that's older than both of y'all.
Right.
First of all, you need to have been sitting down. If you're 50 and you got kids 35.
Well, that's true.
All right, but that's how they always say, I got kids your age. So I'm like, all right, what does that mean? I don't understand. So, what are you saying? No, but he issued the challenge and said that 6 was their number, and that every 6th of the month they would do something for the other spouse, both of them. And the challenge, he said, everyone for the next year up until her birthday, do something on the 6th of the month for your spouse. And that's the challenge. And should take pictures and I wonder what I'll do. I didn't actually stand up because I was playing, but everybody else stood up and said, all right, we're down for the challenge. I wonder if everybody's really going to do the challenge and be diligent.
Are you?
I mean, I didn't make up my mind. Probably, though.
I put it in my calendar.
In honor of our friends.
Yes.
Yes. To do the challenge and honor their legacy. So we honor their legacy now. Yeah,
man, they love each other. Like, seriously.
Yeah, and they were, of course, literally marriage counselors over the marriage ministry, and just a great example. And him being a great example. And people were like emotional about that. At his service. about just like, him being an example of being there through, sickness and health.
Yeah.
And to death do you really part. So my brother, if you do hear this, we salute you.
Absolutely.
And we love you all.
Yeah.
So today is a special day for us as well.
Yes.
It is our 20th episode.
You know what I think should happen?
I do not know, but I can guess.
What is your guess?
We ain't got no theme music for the 20. We ain't got no theme
This is that type
music.
of, should be some sort of grand.
No, it's just, we got 20, all right? That means we did not give up 19 times, all right?
Amen.
19 times we pushed forward. We started with one and said, hey, let's do this thing. So for those who've been supporting, we thank you. We appreciate you. For those who have subscribed and shared and liked and followed, thank you.
Thank you.
We're still here, 20 episodes in. And on the 10s, I like to come up with ideas like, what can we do to honor the fact that we got another 10 in?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing today, honey?
We are, of course, I felt like I needed to
Now
burp
she
as
got
soon
the-
as you asked me.
What is going on here? I'll just say it.
No, I got it. We're gonna share 20 of our favorite memories together.
Yes, I would say memorable memories.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of favorites, but it's hard to remember. Like when you be together for a long time and then your memory is shoddy, like mine. I normally don't remember stuff until you tell me. And I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. Yeah.
As
We
I've
did get
expressed
married.
before, my short-term memory is a little funny, but my long-term memory is pretty solid.
It's precise. It's exact. Times of day and times of dates.
You're funny.
Everything.
Well, I guess that's why I said 10 of our favorite memories.
Yes,
I'm
10
not
of.
saying there are. So each of us have 10 to make 20.
10 to make 20.
Yes.
So in honor of our 20th episode, we're going to give you 20 of our best memories that we've experienced while being together. And it should be fun because I don't know what she's going to say and she
Yeah.
does not know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So let's see what happened. What have we been doing all these years?
Yeah, what have we been doing?
What have we been doing?
Let's see.
That's the question.
You want me to go first?
Well, ladies first. That's only right.
Okay, you're right. So, of course, so I'm not going to, this is not on my list. I just have to acknowledge that, of course, our wedding and, hold on. Oh, shucks. So proposal, wedding, and birth of each of our children. Like I just have to throw that out there. Of course, those are great memories. I'm just not including them on my list, but I had to acknowledge them.
Okay.
But my first one is when we ran out of gas.
Amen.
We weren't together yet. We were talking
Certainly.
heavily
Heavily.
we got together that night, didn't we?
We got together that night.
Yeah. So we were heavily engaged in conversation.
That's true.
But yep, I came. You invited me to your dad's church, and to your church at the time.
Yes.
And I came with you. You picked me up and took me to church.
I
and,
did.
It's a good sign right there.
It is.
You
Like
want
a
to come
Christian.
to church with me, and
Hey.
I'll pick you up. So he picks me up, takes me to church, and it was just an overall great day. There were many things because I promise you, your mom slipped a note in the offering basket
Lord.
telling your dad,
Good old
who was the
Linder.
pastor, to ask Chelsea Zachary to come up and do a selection.
Terrible.
So that happens. But like while I was up there, it was a bad day too. Like I think my allergies were bad. Like I was kind of losing my voice, but I was you were playing for me and I was looking at you to give you direction. But because it's not like we had rehearsed or anything, this was impromptu.
Certainly did.
So I'm looking at you just to give you some sort of signal. And when I looked at you, like that was the moment that the Lord like literally just was like, that's your man.
Told you.
Like I looked at you and God was just like, yep, y'all are together. And I was like,
what type
oh.
of voice did he use? Said, that's it.
It wasn't like that.
Said, that's my that's my son.
I am
Whom
well.
I'm well pleased.
That should have been on the list. That should have been on the list.
That is, but that'll be hard in between.
Yeah, that's a inside joke, guys. But anyway, no, but anyway, so but seriously, it was just one of those things where the Lord took over my thoughts. You know, it's not always you hearing a voice. Sometimes it's the Lord just literally redirecting your thoughts and like making you think a thought very intently.
Yes.
You know, and it was like in that moment, it was just like, okay, that's my man.
Yes.
But so we left church and we got on the highway and the car was out of gas.
Certainly. Specifically.
But the car wasn't out of gas. That was when you still had Lucy. And, you know, we were young. That was your first car that you bought yourself.
Man.
And, you know, so she wasn't the most reliable at all times.
She was reliable at all times.
I will always remember Lucy fondly, though.
I betrayed her. Sorry.
No, but remember, it was because we were on an incline.
Yes.
And whenever it would be on a hill, the gas gauge would be inaccurate.
Well, let's be clear, because I don't want to give raggedy people license to be running out of gas. All right. I knew that it was low. I was like, well, we can make it. No, you can't.
That is too funny.
Can't make it. Yeah.
Nah, but so then we walked across the highway.
Yes.
To the other side, so we had to walk across the little middle grassy part.
Yes.
And go over to the other side of the highway, and we were walking to the gas station, and but I remember you asking me like, did I want to come with you? For some reason, that just felt like an adventure to me. I'm just like, yeah.
Lord have
like
mercy.
That was so fun to me.
People just, Lord have mercy.
I don't know. It was just sweet. I don't know. It was just a sweet moment. Like
Grace
us
of God.
walking. I don't know. It was fun. That's one of my favorite memories.
Well,
and then some white dude picked us up.
He did.
Well, he like asked us if we needed a ride, and we were all kind of like, should we go?
No, it was fine.
Is he a serial killer?
He was a white angel.
Yes.
All right. He was there waiting for us, took us where we needed to go.
He did. He was nice.
And we were good to go. That's right. He took us to a gas station, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Linda and them came to the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Took us to the car. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Pretty funny. But that was one of my memories. So I'm going to
Was it?
It was. Yes.
I was not expecting that to be.
It was.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to cross it out of my list.
Okay.
And it was, or I'll just leave it there because I might want to keep it. But that was one of the things, because it's like, here you go. First of all, I never run out of gas anyway, but here I goes today. I run out of gas, and I've, taken her with me. And I feel like something, because that was the first time you went to church with me.
No, it wasn't.
What do you mean, on a Sunday?
Mm-hmm. I think that was the second time. Because I remember clothes. Am I lying?
You're lying. Yes, I'm
lying.
positive.
You're right.
You're lying.
I had on the black sweater and the white dress with the black boots.
Black boots, yes.
Yeah.
I think you had
that
your
was
red
the first
coat.
time.
It was the first time.
Yeah.
Pearl-like earrings.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Stop lying. But yeah, it was the first time, and it's like, oh man, this is good. We're moving in the right direction. I don't want to sully it. Now, it then got sullied with like, oh, this is a great time. Hey, service was cool. She sang a little song. Hey, that's great. All right, let's go get something to eat. No, let's break down on the highway and run out of gas. Actually,
that's funny.
And I'm sitting there like, what are you doing here, Ron? You're blowing it. You're blowing it. And I just remember you just being so down. I was just like, she didn't really complain. She just was like, oh, okay. Guess we're going to get gas now. I was like, yeah, all right, well, cool. And it just made me feel like, you're down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, that's cool. That's what's up. She's a keeper.
Oh, that's sweet.
And a sex symbol.
All right.
Yes.
What's your next one? Or should I go next? Or?
Well, yeah, you would technically go next. So that was my
Okay.
first one and your first one.
Okay.
I'll do them out of order.
Okay. All right. My next one was when I feel like this might have been the same day. Did we go see Tangled the day we got together too? We went to Olive Garden and then went to see Tangled, or was it a different day? I feel like it was a different day because I didn't have those clothes on.
I could not tell you when we went to see Tangled.
Well, we went on a Tangled movie date. That's what I have it here as. And like that really just kind of like another thing that just kind of solidified for me like the type of person that you are. Cause like you would never have chosen to go see Tangled if it wasn't for me. But the fact that you were like, oh, what'd you say?
Well, I was just looking up the release date. Released November 24th, 2010. Which means it's probably still in theaters. So
right.
It may have been.
It may have been. I think it was, close. I think we might have been together by then.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is you took me to see Tangled.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. Because, like, I just wasn't expecting you. Like, we were going to go to the movies. You're asking me, like, was there anything I wanted to see? And I was like, I really wanted to see Tangled. And you're just like, fine, let's go see Tangled. And I was like, really?
Yes, grown people.
That's really cool for you to, like, go with me.
Yeah, of course. Why would I not?
Yeah.
When you're in those stages, you just whatever. You're down for everything because you want people to understand, hey, don't you like me?
Right.
I like you.
Right.
Right? Now it's like, I ain't going to see no Tangled, girl. Get on away from here.
I just wanted to go to the Alice in Wonderland experience for my birthday. And you were like, nah, I'm not going.
Man, we ain't going over there, man. Chill.
We're past that. No, but you still are that type of person, though. Like, you're not selfish at all.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you're, I don't know. You're a giving, person, and you care, and you know, sometimes you're willing to just,
suffer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though I don't think we suffered, it was enjoyable.
It wasn't suffering.
Yeah.
No.
And I remember you liking the music.
Yeah, well, yeah, you definitely can, generally can count on some good music coming out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Little whiskey Irish song. Hey,
yeah.
Like, all right, I like that. Yeah, that's nice. All right, my second memory, which was originally my first memory, is the first Glenn show.
Oh,
isn't that sweet?
That's very sweet.
That's crazy because we had met at that point, and I guess you know what, and it's hard to remember, but now I remembered other memories. But I assume we had rehearsals because ain't no way we just stood up there.
We did.
This is at Warm Daddy. I don't remember the rehearsals though, but I feel like
I do vaguely, not very well.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. It was so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't veer off into other memories.
Sure.
So just the first Glenn show, we did a show with Glenn Lewis at Warm Daddy's in Philly. Anybody who knows Philly, Warm Daddy's, I don't remember. I feel like they're closed now, right? They were still open at the time. Great place where you get live music, excellent
and good food.
Yeah, food was pretty stout. And we were just, in the back, like doing the show. I didn't know her that well, but I knew her well enough to know I liked her at that point.
Yeah, because Liz told me.
She told, right.
Mm-hmm.
She well, that's the best way, I guess. I ain't had no pressure to say nothing. She already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember you came, you had these cute little shoes on, and you took them off. You had these cute little feet. I was like, yeah, she's the one. Lord.
Yeah, how long was them sets?
How long was them sets?
Because they were high heels, and we did I think we did probably like 45 minutes, and then took a break, and then had another 45 minutes.
Had another 45.
So I was like, let me take these off while we're taking a break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good memory, because I don't know, it's just, and that was when I think I literally walked you to your car, and I probably looked so goofy because I had sunglasses on.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
I do, because I'm like, why do you? First of all, it was night.
It was nighttime.
Certainly night, and I had on sunglasses. I don't know why. I don't even know whose they were. They weren't mine. They had to been Dave's, and I don't know why I had them on. But I was just walking you to your cars, make sure you were good, and it was just a good, like, all right, I'll see you, and trying to make it out.
Carrying a bag for me and stuff.
Oh, I didn't remember carrying a bag.
Did.
I did. Isn't that sweet of me? But yeah, just remember doing that. And trying to convey, like, yeah, you know what time it is now at this point. And just being in that beginning stages of love.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
That is a very good memory.
Yes.
And plus, I remember backstage was tiny.
It was tiny.
So, and you were sitting next to me.
Was I?
You were. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't many places to sit.
Mean, everybody was
sitting. But we were, close,
Everybody sitting next to each other.
I don't know. It's so weird how I always just felt okay being right up on you. From day one, I'm sitting right here, we're shoulder to shoulder. I'm taking my shoes off, rubbing my foot, and I had my foot crossed across my knee. I had it up here. I'm foot right next to you.
I should have rubbed that foot right there. Then you would have known I was your man.
I don't know. That might have been too much for me. Hold on, why are you rubbing my feet?
Took it over the edge.
Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3, my next one is my 20th birthday.
Uh-oh.
When we went to Bobby Flay's for the first
Flizzy's.
time.
Yes.
Which is also closed. Why is everything closed? The studio is closed.
Everything.
Warm Daddies is
Listen.
closed. Bobby Flay's is closed. But that was my first fancy date ever.
Yeah.
I had never gone on a fancy date.
Yes.
I mean, first of all, the first time you took me on a date was my first real date, period.
Help us, Lord.
But that was my first time going to a fancy restaurant,
Yeah.
like, period, in life.
Yeah.
Forget a date. Like, I had never eaten at an expensive I had eaten at, like, chain restaurants, like Red Lobster, Olive Garden. Like, I ate places like that, but I had never been to a restaurant of that caliber. And, going to AC and,
Yeah.
It's
It's different.
Yeah, it was just really fancy.
And it's weird for me. You probably didn't know at the time, but I don't like going places I haven't been before. And
Well, I
and
definitely know that now.
Geographically,
I know. Now I do.
geographically, not like trying a new experience. It's like, no, where are we going and how are we getting there? I ain't trying to do this. I'm out here in Atlantic City. I had never actually been to Atlantic City.
What?
Not in my memory.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess we could have went as kids or something, but
Because y'all always went to Wildwood.
always went to Wildwood.
Wow.
Love those Wildwood days. Wildwood.
Meanwhile, I hadn't been to Wildwood until I went with
See?
y'all.
See?
I had always been to AC
Of
or
course.
Brigantine.
or
Cape
Brigantine,
May.
or Cape May, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's which is just funny.
That's because
Oh.
I was with my grandparents.
Well, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's just shout out to I'm like, hey, I'm going to you don't know you're 20. I'm like, first of all, you have to be 21 to gamble, right?
Right.
So I'm like, oh, we're 20. I'm like, hopefully they let us in. I tried to look it up. Hopefully it shouldn't be a problem. It's just like, man, there's kids being there. Like it's not. It ain't like that. They just don't want you getting beers and being at tables. But we go into the restaurant, and that's actually one of my memories as well.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
What are we doing?
I mean, good memories. It was because it was the same. I mean, just like it was for you, it was for me. I had never taken anybody to like a fancy restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You go to normal places like Olive Garden and
Right.
Red Lobster.
Exactly.
Or something. I'm like, oh,
I mean,
well,
maybe
I'm
you.
sorry, I did that.
you took other people to like Olive Garden and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Olive
excuse
Garden
me.
and Red Lobster.
Because we were young. Like,
Yeah.
it was, first of all, the day of the Glenn show was your birthday.
Yes.
Right?
Hmm?
So, like,
Or the day after. It was the day.
or the day after. It was the
7th.
day after your birthday, right? So, and you had turned 20. So,
Yes.
like, when we first met, you were still 19. I had just turned 19.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was in high school.
the fact that you were taking people to Olive Garden in high school is pretty fancy.
Well, it was at the time for us, I guess, but I always had income.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wasn't drawing. If I'm
The main thing.
Yeah, if I'm gonna take you out, like, listen, we're going somewhere. Let's, go somewhere reasonable. I'm not gonna take you to
That's
Wendy's.
so crazy.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with Wendy's, but
No.
if it's like a date or something, it's like,
I mean, if
You
you're
know.
in high school, though, I think there's some understanding there that it's like, oh, he took me out and this is what he could afford. Sure. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever would have been like, ew.
yeah,
But,
it was all
no.
friends though.
Nobody ever took me,
nowhere
to a
nice.
restaurant, period. No type of restaurant.
Never seen.
If
a
we
fork and
went
spoon.
to a eating place like McDonald's or Wendy's or something, it's just because I was driving and we were hungry and I drove there and we ate there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
I did go to the movies. That was the best I got.
Lord have mercy.
But we were young though. Like
I
it
don't
was
wanna hear
literally a
these
year
excuses.
after I graduated from high school a year before I met you.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear these excuses. I just told you I was out in high school. Hey, let's go to Olive Garden, Red Lobster. It wasn't that far out. But basically, by the time we get to senior year, I'm playing and
Well, yeah, I think
and I
that's a
had a
little
job.
bit unique.
So whatever. I don't want
I
to
don't
give.
think people usually have
There's nothing
that.
wrong with having that standard. All right,
No.
that's fine. But just even still, had never been anywhere where the bill is going to be over $200. Pretty standardly.
Or over 100
That's
for
funny.
2 people.
Yeah, even those places doesn't really get over 100. But yeah, going to Bobby Flay's and just having that new experience together.
Hmm. That was very nice.
Yes,
That was just a great time.
it was a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time. And we
Yeah.
both like dressed nice and
Yes, that's true.
you know.
Because Because all you know is what you've seen, and you don't want to be like, oh man, we got turned away because
Right.
we didn't have the right clothes on.
Right.
And then you walk in, it'd be a dude with some shorts on, and like a t-shirt, and he seems like he owns the place. I'm just like, what are we thinking?
Just left golfing. Like, let's go get a quick dinner.
That's funny. It might have been a little more stricter then, just because, like, once COVID came, like, I think some people loosened up restrictions, just like, hey, we just need people in here.
That's
like,
true.
We ain't got time for those.
Yeah, I mean, it some places were more like a business casual.
Yeah.
But yeah, not like super pedestrian.
Yeah.
Nah, but we were like dressed really nice. I had on this little black dress and some little sparkly heels and stuff like that.
You was looking good.
Thank you. And I remember I was all worried about my legs being shiny.
They were shiny and they looked good. You was being fast. I liked it though.
Of course.
I did. And you had nice little high heels and yeah,
but I realized after that not to wear no high heels there anymore because there was a lot of walking in the casino.
Yeah. And it was like a true high heel too. Like,
yeah,
I remember.
And they were thin. They were like stilettos.
Yeah, stiletto.
Yeah.
I was surprised you just really wanted to be cute. I said, "Excuse me."
Yeah, it was my birthday, and I was in my 20s. I wasn't a teenager no more.
Elevator at the place.
Oh, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. Jones had parking lot. Like, hey, let's get through this parking lot. That was it.
Nah, I was not prepared. I knew after that though. I was like, you won't get, because when we went back there when we got engaged,
Flats.
Nah, I had wedges. Yeah, it was not.
Praise God.
Yeah.
I remember those two. Those were still nice.
Thank you.
So technically that would be my third one too.
Okay.
All right. We're in there, Chels.
We're in there. All right. So my fourth one is when you used to push the couches together in my mom's basement. Don't tell me that's on your list, Ron.
No, it's not.
I was about to say we're gonna have to cancel the episode.
Nah, we ain't canceled nothing.
Well, just because it's not gonna have no content.
It's got plenty of content. That's just sweet.
Oh, okay.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I used to. Well, like, cause you've always done stuff like that. Like, you've always just, oh, I'm just gonna move this here. We'll do that. Like, you're just very innovative like that. But like, it just was so sweet because we wanted to like be next to each other but be comfortable, and it's like we couldn't both lay with our legs stretched out, or sit with our legs stretched out, and we would be in my mom. Well, I still lived with my mom at the time when we were dating and engaged, and we would be watching movies on demand or something like that in the basement, and or binge watching shows. I think we were watching Heroes at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, I remember you were like, oh, I'm just gonna push the couches together, and I was like, this is such a good idea. And we used to be chilling like that.
Queen Snuggle over there.
Oh yes.
Shit, nothing make her more happy than a snuggle. Talk
It's
about
true.
an instant nap. I don't care where she could have
That's
came
the
from
problem.
napping.
That's the problem, because don't let me be like my head is on your shoulder.
It's comfortable. It's over.
It's a wrap.
It's off to be.
As long
as
there's a blanket.
Don't let it be a comfortable blanket.
It's a wrap.
It's gonna be some slobber on that blanket. I'm just telling you now.
No, and you had spent the night a couple of times too, and I think you did that. No, we had the sleeping bag and we slept on the floor. Yeah.
I remember. That's you leading into my next memory.
Oh, what is it?
Leading into my next, but I'll talk more about the couches. Yes, having the couches, us being together.
Yeah.
First of all, it was kind of good living because it's like, well, it's a basement. So naturally, it's always, well, it might maybe not for you, but it was nice and cool down there. So it's hot outside. Hey, it's cool down there. We're good. If it's cold outside, hey, it's still cool down there. We're good. I'm glad to go, and we'll just snuggle up.
And we were set because there was a bathroom down there and everything, so we were set.
TV, shout out to the box TV.
Yeah.
Watching
oh my gosh.
on demand.
Yeah.
And that's funny because 2010, like it. Maybe they were still coming out. I feel like they weren't though.
Nah. Nah.
Oh, it just was a little behind the times.
I think she got a flat screen in the den.
Yeah.
But like in the family room, I mean. But nowhere else in our house. Like in my bedroom, I had that huge it was the original flat screen TV, like large big screen with the huge back.
Huge back.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Had that till we got married.
Had that joint.
It was huge though.
Yes,
it was a
big.
huge screen.
Big old joint. Oh man, that was good times. But you could go get some food, just go down there, eat and chill.
Yep.
And really, I don't recommend that. You know,
No.
being alone. But you know, at the time, it was just good to be able to just be with her and just get that bonding time in.
Yeah, it was good times. I really thank God that I mean, but we've discussed before that like if you date for too long before getting married, you know, the sexual tension builds up. And it's hard for you to abstain like the longer you drag it out.
Sure.
But just, you know, the fact that like I got pregnant like 3 months after we got married and just the way things went as soon as we got married, it was like life got so real, like so fast. I was like really grateful that we had so much time before that, you know, which really the better option would have been for us to have more time married. Yeah. You know, before having a baby. Of course, we love her dearly, but like, you know, that would have been better just because then we wouldn't have been fornicating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So that leads to what would have been my second memory, but is our fourth. So
okay.
We're on fours. Is Hurricane Watch.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah,
that is a time where I had
I think that's when we had the sleeping bag.
That's when it was a sleeping bag, and because I'm almost positive it was Hurricane Sandy that hit like kind of hard a lot of places, but it hit New Jersey pretty well to where I was just like, well, I don't want it to be a thing where it's like a flood, and you know, sometimes when the floods come, trees go down, whatever happens, I'm like, if I can't get to her, I don't want it to be that. And then, of course, towers go out. You can't call. I was like, well, if it goes like that, I don't want it to be like that. And I'm like, y'all here, y'all fine. You know, my mom and dad, y'all depend on each other. Really, everybody depends on my dad. So as long as he's here, y'all good. And he takes the Lord with him, so stuff can't touch him anyway. So, and I'm like, well, I said to them, like,
oh, right, because it was just me and my mom.
Right. Well, no, Mr. Gary was there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Rick, what am I talking about? Because they were married.
Yes.
I'm so funny.
Yeah. So, like, but yeah, you know, and I just said, well, it'd be good if I'd be over there and we'll just be together. We won't have no issues. And if something happens, I'll just be there to help her, you know, whatever. So that's when we all stayed. And apparently, I feel like it was a tornado watch that came. And that was why your mom came downstairs. And we all were downstairs in the basement. Oh. Or whichever one it is that where it's like, it's here, a warning or a watch or whatever.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
We all were down there?
Yeah. We all, at a certain, not the whole time, but at a certain point, a warning came and it's like, hey, you need to get somewhere low or whatever. And so they came down. And he probably was already down there, but she came down there too. And she brung a sleeping bag and just laid in his office with him. Oh, yeah. Just laid in there. And we just laid out there on the couches until, you know, I guess things subsided to the next day. And I took a video because I went, you know, to my house. And I'm like, it's basically, you know, houses are connected. And they didn't have fences. You could see past all the fences. You could see, like, everything. It was just a big, like a lake. It was literally like a lake in people's backyards. Yeah. All connected. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. But just that feeling of saying, well, I don't want to be without my woman.
I know.
My boo.
You're so sweet.
Oh, hush. Hush. Yeah, so I was like, man, we got to be together. That's an interesting bonding, you know, a bonding time. Yeah. Where we're kind of building on our foundation and starting to become, I want to say, codependent.
That's true. That's true. Where you start realizing, like, I don't want to be without this person.
And it's not just me. It's us.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Memory number 4.
Okay.
Memory number 5.
Oh, our honeymoon.
The moon.
Yeah.
That has a lot of strokes.
I mean,
no pun intended. Sorry.
Okay. Why would you eat it? Okay. So... No, but I actually have a list of why, because like I can't, like, it's not a certain part of it for me. I did really enjoy the aquarium and I did really enjoy the Galleria Mall.
Yes. Very nice mall.
However, it was like the rest and the carefreeness. Like, that was truly carefree. Like, truly, that was like the most vacation-y vacation ever.
Right.
Like, we literally were just
eating and frolicking. Like,
it was just so nice. Like, just, all right, we feel like going here. We don't feel like going there. Yep. All right. And it's like, life wasn't real yet.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't real yet. Like, adulthood wasn't, it wasn't, in marriage, all of it wasn't real yet.
Right.
So, like, we weren't like, oh, like when it was time to go home, that was even exciting because it's like we're going back to our apartment for the first time.
It's true.
Like, everything was just so lighthearted, and like, I feel like too, realizing we were married. Like, at some point on the honeymoon, I was just like, we're married. Yeah. Like, it was just interesting.
We're out here. It was interesting because it was, the only time I've only been on at that moment. That was the second time I had, well, technically fourth or third and fourth technically, but second time I went to Florida, and I'm going basically as a grown person. Like, hey, I'm out here, and we have to, be grown out here.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to Miami. It's like, all right, I guess we're going to Miami.
And that was our first solo trip.
Yeah.
That was like planned.
Right. First solo trip.
Because, I mean, the Delaware wasn't planned.
No.
And it wasn't totally together because I had classes.
Right. But it's just, I wanted to put that one, but I was like, I ain't gonna put it. But I don't know, it's just a really good time. And I agree with the carefreeness of just being able to, you're not doing anything, just going places to eat, being together, chilling, went swimming at a little pool, spotting iguanas, lizards. You know what I mean? We find ourselves walking. Why are we even walking through that field?
Oh, that was the worst thing ever.
Walking through
ever.
We're walking through a random field.
Oh, because we were waiting for the dolphin show.
And why were we in that field though?
Because we didn't have nothing to do while we was waiting for the dolphin show.
Oh, all right. That's just goofy. So we're walking into a random field that's next to that place. It's like, this is a nice little field. And I guess maybe we're taking pictures, seeing what's going on. Like, hey.
Oh, now I'm itchy.
That seems like a lizard over there. And then it's like, hey. This seems like a lot of lizards.
Like, we literally were walking through
lizards.
Like, they were covering the entire.
Yes.
Oh.
Didn't realize. They literally, like, shout out to the iguanas because their blend game is strong. Like, I had no idea until I looked up and said.
Yeah, and we're not talking the little cute lizards that you see in the hotel.
Like,
they were iguanas. They were big.
They were off-putting sized lizards. If you saw them in New Jersey, it would be an issue. Full field of them. Didn't notice them until we were in the middle of them. Like,
And I think I had flip-flops on. Like, my feet were out.
With the flops.
Oh, no. So we're sitting here trying to tiptoe.
Tiptoeing in my
Because once you see them, you see them.
You see them,
It's amazing how we did not. We walked all the way to the beach. That's what it was. There was like a little, it wasn't like a chill beach. It was like rocks, next to the water. But we went over there to just be by the water. And then we walked all through them.
Yikes.
Didn't see them.
Yikes.
Came back. And on our way back, we were like, like, we did not see them.
Shout out to the iguanas population of Florida. They don't talk about that in commercials.
No, they do not.
This is Miami. We out here with these iguanas and lizards. What are y'all doing?
Because they definitely disrespectful. They don't have no boundaries, man.
They saying this is our land. Like, we've been here.
Right.
Who are you? Who are you?
That wasn't the best part, but
it was not. But it certainly was memorable.
It's very memorable.
Yeah, I said that one already. So this is my 5 as well. So July of 2013, the month I finished paying off your ring.
Aw.
And that's also the month I started working. It was the first time I had a full-time job. July of 2013, I went and worked for the government. And I had already purchased your ring, or lay away your ring. This is more accurate. Put that thing on layaway, like, I'll put a little down and I'll come back and get when I can. But I remember just thinking, like, hey, man, because this is 13. It's like, well, you want to start a family and, being a minister of music. I'm like, it's okay, but you want to start knocking rent out. It's like you need some more income. So, and then I think my mom ended up saying to me like, hey man, they got an opening somewhere over there in Philly. And the first thing I thought like, dang, I gotta go to Philly. Like, I'm not trying to go work in Philly. But I said, well, whatever. Let's go and do it. And I did. And I went in there, and I remember the first check, it was a blessing because I didn't think I would get my first check the first week. Because normally you got to wait 2 weeks. And I hadn't signed up for nothing. But it was like, hey, that joint came in the mail, and my supervisor handed it to me. Hey, Ryan, I got a little check for you. I was like, oh, man. I think it was like $723 or something low. But I said, oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and pay off. I'm gonna get this ring and start setting up the plans. When am I gonna ask her? When am I gonna blah blah blah? It actually was a blessing because when we first went there, I was paying for parking, and it was like $10 a day. Yeah. Which is not terrible compared to some places, but for me, I'm like, I didn't have a bunch of money.
$200 a month.
Yes, $200 a month. I'm like, that's a car payment, and I'm sitting there thinking they were moving the office,
right?
And I'm sitting like, dang, they got to move the office. Like, I don't want to be going deeper into Philly or anything. I'm like, man, but it actually ends up being a blessing because now they moved to a place where we had street parking. You just park on the street for free. And I was like, what a blessing! Thank you, Lord. It was a little bit farther, but not like drastically. Oh, man, those are some odd days, Chelsea. Some odd days. That them 3 years I spent over there, it was fine, but it just was different. And just thinking how the Lord, just works things out and puts you in a place to succeed. It works things out even when you don't know. You just over there like, what are we doing? I don't know. But he knows.
Right.
Yeah. But just that month of, remember those memories.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. We're on 6, right?
I think
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one, you would never know I was going to have this on here.
Watch me have it.
Never. No, you don't. You don't even know this happened probably.
Oh.
When we brought Corey home from the hospital, I went to the bathroom. TMI, but it's just funny. So at the hospital, they usually don't let you go home unless you can poop.
Yeah.
And but they didn't keep me. They just gave me a laxative before I left and told me, like, if you still don't poop when you get home, like, let us know.
Right.
But of course, as soon as we got home, I was like, I gotta poop.
Sure enough.
So we come in and I'm in the bathroom and you brought her in her little carrier car seat. And you put the carrier on our bed and I heard you saying to her, we're home. Like you were talking, I heard you talking to her and saying, this is where we live. This is our home. That's like one of my favorite memories ever. I was in the bathroom crying.
Break it down. Nah,
it was so sweet. That. It was so sweat.
Yeah.
Because like I hadn't, like we hadn't really been around a lot of babies. Not really. Like because you had spent time with like your little cousins, like Bree in London.
Yeah,
but like
not like a ton of with them either.
Right. Like by the time I came around, they were already like toddlers.
Right.
And like, we didn't see them a lot, like not together.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really ever like, but that's like our baby, and then just hearing you all like, hi, just talking to a baby.
Yes.
It was just the cutest thing ever.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't remember saying anything to her. Probably somewhere crying, trying not to fold up. You gotta feed these people, Ryan. You got to hold them down. You got to hold them down. Who knows what I would be saying to JJ now? Just boy, you got to hold us down when I get too old. Ain't no baby talk with you.
Hilarious.
Mercy. That is a beautiful memory.
Yeah.
So my memory number 6 would be us moving into our first apartment.
Yeah,
which kind of coincides. Is the process of being like, oh man, I guess I'm moving out of my parents' home. I'm out here leaving and cleaving, just like I got to go. And you go into this apartment and it's just like thinking back to it, just how like we were living raggedy. Like,
I mean, no, you're right. You're right. I don't even really think about that, but you're right.
We were living raggedy, Chels. And I think just at a certain point, it's like, well, we never had more than one couch. It was one sofa.
Yeah.
I had a raggedy TV stand that I found.
Oh.
I believe I.
I'm gonna tell you what else is trifling. Why we got an organ in one couch? Oh, buy an organ.
Got a full-fledged organ, and Leslie sitting there taking up and pull-up bar.
Yeah, a real, because we were doing P90X for 2 seconds, and then I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh, we was getting in shape too.
We were.
We
did have a real dinette.
We did.
That was, and the couch was nice. It was fine.
It was fine.
It was a real couch.
It wasn't much different from these. It was different color. But yeah, just thinking back, like just having your own, like this is our first apartment.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's first apartment is raggedy. Like I don't care what you say. That joint is beat.
No, and then the TV in our bedroom was on your old nightstand, right? Yeah.
That's where I'm like, because we had two old, like neither one was like, this is a proper TV stand. Nope.
Nah.
Something I found, something I had.
I don't remember you finding.
I think I found it literally. And it was like an end table, not an end table. It was like a nightstand, but it wasn't a great one. That joint was in the living room.
That is so funny.
Probably was inviting people over, like, yeah, come on over. It's like, sir.
That's funny.
What are y'all doing over here? What are y'all doing over here? And oh man, that was the best of times, worst of times.
It really wasn't the worst of times, though. It was just the best of times.
Yeah, it was terrible.
No, we have a video of when we moved into our first apartment.
Yeah, we do.
Taking a tour.
Before we really had like stuff in there,
Yeah, because we weren't married yet. That was on the first of the month that we got married on the 29th.
Yep. I think I went there. I think we had a bed. We purchased a bed. It's hard to really remember the timeline.
Yeah, no, the bed was there on time.
Okay.
Because you needed somewhere to sleep when you moved in.
Right.
So the bed was there. The dinette wasn't there right away, and the couch wasn't there right away, but the bed was.
Yeah, that's like at the very least, I have somewhere to lay my head. Somewhere to lay my head and just.
Did you have a box spring?
That's a good question. I think
you did.
We had I don't remember.
We didn't get the bedroom set right away.
Okay, I got you. I don't think we never had like a dresser in there. Thugging. Just completely
well, that
thugging.
room was small too for some reason.
That's no excuse.
Like it wasn't really like roomy to have. Like I remember there was no room for nightstands with our king bed.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
But we did have like the TV on a nightstand on one side.
Terrible.
But then like the dresser could have only gone between the two closets. Like where else would it go?
That's the only place. Either way, we had to be thugging it like that. Shout out to them 6 memories.
Was so nice though.
I mean, it was nice
it
for
was.
time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. It's nice to have children. Obviously, they're a blessing, but I do regret that we didn't have that. Like, people want that ideal. Let's spend a year or two. And let it just be us, and we didn't get that. But it's okay.
It is, and I mean, but we did have like the best dating engagement period. Like.
Yeah,
it was a whole 4 years before we got married.
It was.
So like we had 4 years.
Yes.
Plus a couple of months. So, but however, it's different when you're married.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you're alone.
Yes.
Like you can actually travel and get a hotel room together without people being
what y'all doing
on the trip with you or questioning you or and
properly.
So. Oh yes, no, for sure. But
yeah,
it's different when you're married.
Have mercy.
Yeah.
Come on, number
Soon
7.
come. Let me see. What's next?
Number 7.
Oh, this actually doesn't deal with us. Were they all supposed to deal with me and you?
Well, I just memories.
Okay.
I was there regardless.
Right, you were. When we moved into this apartment.
Okay.
And Corey was excited about own room.
Oh, now that's precious.
Yeah.
That's precious.
She said, I have own room.
Oh,
and people would come to our house like a year later. She still, look, I have own room. Look at own room.
Thanks. That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
Sweet Bob had her own room. And
for the first time. Yeah.
She was always around and sharing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's just a blessing.
It also had a lot to do with the feeling of us having our own again, though, because we went from living with parents,
house to house,
to getting our own place again, and it was something that really solidified it for me about our daughter having her own room. You know, like this is not only us having our own place again, but her having her own room.
Doing her thing, living her life, tearing that room up.
Indeed.
Sure enough. Go ahead and tear it up because you gonna clean it up.
And it's your room, his own room. So
yes.
Shut your door. We'll be out here.
That's funny. So my seventh memory would be the day I told you I was going to quit my job. And I don't remember a specific day. Okay. But I remember it's similar to when the gas broke down and didn't have no gas. Didn't break down but ran out of gas. It's similar to that, being that I don't know, it's just your attitude about it was like completely just like, okay. Yep, just down. This is when I knew you loved me too much and I needed to watch you. But you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted because you're just too down. Like, hey, man. I say, hey, I need to go ahead and quit this job. You're like, cool, no problem. All right, let's do it. I'm like, why are you so down? Like, you're supposed to ask more questions. But
I think all I really said was as long as that's what God is telling you to do. I just felt like if that's what God was telling you to do, I can't argue with the Lord.
Yeah, you can't. But that's more like a leader. I mean, I'm not, even then I wasn't nearly as close to the Lord as I am now. But it's certainly what I felt in my spirit to do. But it's different. It's like, first of all, it's a government job. It's a weird period of transition where I was a contractor. And now it's like, well, all you have to do is stay here and you can be on. Like, we're going to just convert all the contractors to government employees and you'll have a government job, which means you generally have pretty good job security. You're almost unfireable and you're going to have, decent benefits and things like that. And here I am like, hey, I think I'm going to let this go. It's just like, huh? And it's weird because, that's not even in my character. Like, I'm not that guy. No. I'm not the quit stuff guy.
No, you're not. That's true.
Stay here, for long periods. So, I don't be just hopping around. I've only had 2 full-time jobs in my life.
True.
Since we've been together. Well, in my life and since we've been together. I've been a minister of music all that time and still am. But it just that's just not something you come to your wife with, or just a black person, at all. I think I'm gonna quit this government job. What government job? You crazy? All them benefits? Boy, you been staying at that job. I'm just like, this ain't it. It's not. It ain't it. And it wasn't. It's like a distant memory, and it was 3 years. Same thing it is with Raymore. It's been 3 years.
Which is still just both. I'm always like, what?
Yes, and that was 6 years ago. I left 6 years ago.
Yeah, because she was a baby.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Yes, but the day I told you is when I realized that you were too down. You were Brandy's little sister.
Okay, you're funny.
I wanna be down with what you're going through.
That's funny. Well, praise the Lord. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it was, and I said that to you verbatim, like, as long as you're sure that that's what the Lord is leading you to do. I remember saying that verbatim. I was like, as long as you're sure, that's what the Lord's leading you to do. I'm like, hey, whatever. Because, I mean, the reasoning, you're like, I feel like God is leading me to, start this ministry or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, all right.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
All right. But I think there's something to be said about what you said, that you're not that, it's not like you do stuff like that all the time. No. I think if you were like flighty, like every time I turn around, you're switching up or you don't know what you want to do, or like you've been independable or something. You were always very dependable, like I knew you wouldn't have us in a compromising situation or anything like that. So
to the best of my abilities.
To the best of your ability, but we haven't been in a compromising situation, and I'm sure that, I think there's something to be said for that about me, like trusting your character,
That's cool.
Yeah. And my next one is when you did the You Are So Beautiful video.
You are so beautiful. Gels.
Yeah. That was when Ron had his office space for said ministry / business. for a few years, Ron was doing piano lessons, specifically gospel piano. You had your own office space at the time, and one day, it was Mother's Day. It was for Mother's Day. He recorded himself singing "You Are So Beautiful," which was also our wedding song. I walked down the aisle to that song being played on the violin.
Yep.
At our wedding ceremony. But yeah, so he sang it and he was playing it on the piano while he was singing, and he posted it on Facebook with this really nice paragraph. I think it was a paragraph. I don't know, but you were just basically saying, like, it wasn't a paragraph, but you were just saying, like, you know, one of the best moms and wives, basically, that I know. But yeah, it was it was surprising. I wasn't expecting to go on Facebook and that be there. And of course I never can cry right away. I'm always shocked first. I have to like absorb that things are happening and understand first. Like, wait, this is what's going on?
You and your shockery.
I have to get over the shock and then I can react emotionally after that, depending on the level. Like today I cried at the immediately at the grocery store.
This guy.
Well, yeah, because our son, he has he's developing more slowly than average with his speech and, just overall communication and like socialization. And so it's like he's in early intervention therapy and everything. It's like a big deal for him to say anything because he's 2.5 and he's not talking yet. And so, I'm all talking to you like you don't know.
That's fine.
He's 2.5 and he's not talking yet. And, so we're in the grocery store today and I was singing him Old MacDonald Had a Farm just to keep him calm because he was starting to fuss about me wanting me to pick him up and carry him around the store, which I did not want to do because he's heavy.
Hefty.
Yeah, which I wound up having to do anyway, but it stalled him for a little while. But I was singing E-I-E-I-O and I could see like every time I was saying oh, he would like, because the therapist, they tell you to pause, and give the child a second to realize that you want them to say whatever, or give their brain a minute to say like, oh, I should fill in the blank. So yeah, I was going E-I-E-I and then waiting for him to do O, and I kept seeing him make the O shape with his mouth, and I was like, ooh, and I told Ron, I was like, he's trying to say O. Like no sound was coming out, but I could see him making an O with his mouth, and he kept touching my mouth and he was looking directly at my face, like I could tell he was studying my mouth. And then like a few minutes later we heard him going E-I-E-I, oh, and I literally busted out crying. Like immediately. I was like, but that was such a big deal. Like that was a really big deal because he doesn't imitate anything or speak at all other than mama when he's in peril. So he does know how to say mama if he's either mad at me because I'm taking too long, or or if he's like like we leave him at his crib or something, he wants me to come get him, he will say mama. But
this guy,
yeah, that was like he used to talk and then he regressed. So second time around, that was almost like his first words, or his first thing to say. Like that was a big deal. But yeah, that I immediately cried. But like moments where it's like a grand gesture, like engagement, when you proposed, when you gave me the painting, what were we just talking about before I went on that tangent? Oh, the video. Yeah. When I saw the video on Facebook, stuff like that, where it's like a really grand gesture and it's just like overly sweet. Like I can't even I can't even react.
I understand.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was for you, dear.
Yeah.
Because I love you.
I love you too.
My number 8 is the beginning of COVID. March 2020. And that's like a vague time period, but because it's in the middle, I would say it was important in our relationship because it's like here's this pandemic. A lot of times we'll hear about stuff that's like, oh, it's somewhere else, and it has the possibility to come here and become a big thing, and most times it doesn't. It never happens. But it's just like you're hearing about this stuff and 2 weeks later it's like we're shutting down everything.
That was so crazy.
It's just like okay, So this is more real than we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes, it's like, well, what happens with the job? Are we still going to have work, or what are we going to do? And I just remember I prayed the prayer. Well, it wasn't a prayer that Abraham said, but I prayed an Abrahamic prayer, you know, and I said, Lord, for the sake of one righteous man, you know, just as you did.
I remember that, yeah.
Just as you did, you know, for Abraham and for Lot, technically, will you keep this building open?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a real prayer, because this is a building for furniture.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to send out furniture if the stores aren't open to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people can buy furniture online, but can't nobody deliver it because nobody's going in anybody's house because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there saying a prayer. It's like, well, hey, Lord, if you can do that, I'd appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they told a bunch of people, hey, we're going to give you 2 weeks of free pay.
Mm-hmm.
Or either a week of free pay or 2 weeks. I don't remember. But they said, we're going to give you that. And from there, you can just, you know, go home, or you can just stay here. And they said, well, who wants to work? And I told them, look, if y'all open, I'm working. Period. And there wasn't that many people. And what made it work was a lot of people just say, hey, I'm going to take that free money and go on. And they'll just go collect unemployment. And I'm just coming from the aspect, like, I don't want to collect unemployment. Like, I have the ability to work, so I'll work. And it just needed the Lord to actually give us a reason to work and be here. And he did. And stuff kept coming in, kept being shipped out through the whole pandemic. Never missed one day of work.
Wow.
And I said, well, praise the Lord. It was important because, you know, we can forget that the Lord is looking out for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And that he'll provide and he'll make ways.
And let's add on the layer of, I had just stopped working Zumbini. I was about to give birth in May. So this was 2 months before I was about to have our son.
Being overzealous.
What?
Overzealous.
About what?
About like, yeah, I should be able to keep on.
Oh.
I'm going to keep being able to do classes. You know, I'm used to my body and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, my plan was to work until April. But once December hit, I was like, all right, y'all, we ain't having another session after this.
December came around.
No, I used to teach a program called Zumbini. Zumbini is created by Zumba. Yes. There's a lot of dancing involved, even though it is a mommy and me class for like babies and toddlers and their parent. You know, there's literally a song called Kangaroo where you jump for like 3 minutes straight, jumping like a kangaroo. That's literally the lyrics of the song. And I was like, so.
Yes.
And all the sitting on the floor and then standing up and then sitting on the floor and then standing up. And I was like, I'm pregnant. Now I'm done.
It's too much.
We needed that because that was the only income we had at that point.
Right.
Because I indefinitely stopped. I didn't tell them I was never coming back, but I just made it very indefinite because I knew I was going to need time.
Yeah.
With him after he was born. Yeah,
and it was just it really was a kind of just fly by night kind of conversation. Just like, yeah, I mean, maybe I should go and get a job.
That was so great. Man, that's a whole nother episode.
That's the leading of the Lord. You know, just like, hey, maybe I should, you know, get another job. You know, I'm like, you know, you're not going to be able to do that forever. And, you know, and that's just, you know, I'll just go work at Raymore or something, you know. Shell is over there. She'll just get me in there and I'll go over there and just get some, you know, extra income, whatever. Yeah. And you look and see now is like what's become of me being over there is like, oh, the Lord was placing me over here.
Man.
Yeah.
That was so strategic of the Lord. It was.
And not only me, placing Jay over there.
Yeah.
Jay being over there a man of God and full of the Holy Ghost. And Stephen, who was, you know, over there giving Bible study and preaching to people and just being a true servant of the Lord.
Yeah.
And, you know, convicting my heart. And not even by his own accord, because I told him, like, yeah, I'm a believer, and I was, but I wasn't being as assertive as I needed to be to really, you know, spread the gospel. It was more like, you know, more happenstantial and not direct, like where I'm really reaching out to people for specifics, like, you know, saying who God is, as opposed to it may come up in conversation and then I'll let you know.
Right.
Which isn't always good enough, but just how the Lord works and you know puts all that in place is just, you know, how he rolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 8.
That's a good one. My next one is when you left the note in my drawer with the little acrostic poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing more to be said. You were having a hard time.
I was. Yeah. And the poem was, just like good qualities about me, basically.
A lot of good ones. C for courageous.
I mean, it's in that drawer right over there. I could get
is
it.
it? Yeah.
But no, that was the timing. There's been several times for you, like and I, with timing.
Mm-hmm.
Where the timing was just really good, and you were like, "Yeah, the Lord just put it in my spirit to, do something like that for you, just like, And I was like, "Yeah, I really needed that right now. I wasn't really feeling myself."
Yeah, poor thing. It's okay. Sometimes the weight of the world gets on you, but the Lord has given me strength to help lift that weight.
Amen.
Get it off of you so that you know that you're loved and appreciated and respected and valued.
Amen.
And understood.
Mm-hmm. And every now and then I hope that, that's the other way around as well.
Nah, nothing for me. Nothing. I don't feel any of those things.
Every now and then.
I'm just an outcast. I'm just, this is my third song to sing. A stranger. That's what Shirley Caesar was saying.
Hilarious.
Traveling all my way. So, number 9 for me would be our wedding day. Mm-hmm. And because it's a wedding day, there's a few things there's a lot of things that happen, but the main thing I can remember was dancing.
Yeah, that was fun.
The dance, I'd never really danced in public because, I don't have any moves. I've already expressed that to many people. It's like, it's not that I can't dance. I just don't have no moves. But
okay. What? Isn't that the same?
No, it's not. See, this is where people get confused.
You just don't know what to do.
Right. It's like I can do it, but I don't have it in me to do it. Like, I don't have any moves to do. So, like, it's either you're two-stepping or that's it, And I had done
that's all you need. That's what Chris Brown said.
But it was a leap of faith for me. Leap of faith. It was a leap of faith for me. It was like, because I didn't go to my homecomings or proms because I was like, I can't really dance. It's like, so what I'm gonna go there? That would be awkward. Like,
so many people go to those and don't dance though.
But I wasn't one of those people that could accept that. Like, hey, I'm gonna just go and not dance. I went to one dance, nobody danced. I couldn't dance. I was like, well, whatever. And it was terrible. So I was like, well, that's the end of that. And then I don't have no moves. And I can't dance. I'm like, I can't go. I ain't going. I'm not doing it. Ain't no point, Chelsea. I was one of those people. So then at our wedding, I said, you know what? I got moves, Chelsea. I'm going out here. I don't have any moves, but I was just dancing. I was just doing regular black dancing, you know, and it was fine. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was a victory. Mm-hmm. Yep. Victory at a wedding, which is embarrassing.
That's not embarrassing.
It is to me.
That's sweet though. Like you felt
goofy.
Free to do that because it was that kind of day.
Yeah, I felt free to be myself just because I said, well, hey, if there was ever a time for you to go out here and act a fool, it's now.
Yep.
Nobody's going to say nothing. Day. Just going out there and just do what you got to do.
Congratulations, brother.
Yes. I'm glad you waited this long to reveal this to her because now she's stuck.
Okay.
Great job.
I don't even remember. I wasn't embarrassed or anything.
Nah, I was fine. I was fine. I know how to dance. I just don't have no moves. We've already went through that. I don't have no moves, but I know how to dance.
I don't have no moves either. Like,
but you're a woman. Like, you don't have to have moves. Like, no. Here's the truth. Nobody has to have moves in general. It's not important. It doesn't matter.
It's the truth.
But you have to be able to accept that.
Honestly, if you gonna come out there and start doing real moves, then everybody's looking at you like, "What are you doing?
Why are you
like? Why are you being
were you
all
practicing?
Like exactly." Like all those dance movies where they break out.
Oh man!
And it's like clearly choreographed in a movie.
That's the stuff I'll be wondering because it's like you don't know what people are gonna think, but you want to get to the point where it's like who cares what people think, and it takes time.
It does take.
It doesn't always have to, but I just wasn't one of those people. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Number 9, two-stepping at the wedding.
Good stuff.
Knees was hurting the next day like a mug, though. I'll tell you that much.
That's funny. This isn't. I mean, I wasn't trying to put like stuff. I don't know.
Doesn't have to be in order. Just what is number 10?
Well, no, I was gonna say about the wedding, just to elaborate off of you about the wedding. The moment that I came in the doggone reception hall, like the tent,
right,
for the reception, I cried then.
Yes, literally.
I literally cried then because I just was so overwhelmed. It was so pretty, and like it was just this thing that was in my mind all that time where I'm just like thinking, I'm picking all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, okay, that'll look nice together. And I'm trying to like picture it in my head, like, yeah, that'll be good. But when I walked in there, it was
better than you expected, right?
Man.
Yes.
And I was not sure about the uplighting dude because he was so like pedestrian.
Yeah.
You remember I met him at the Starbucks at Barnes and Noble.
Yes.
And he had on like a raggedy t-shirt and some basketball shorts. And like he just was kind of overall sloppy.
Yes.
And then his woman was with him. As you would say, his woman was with him, and she was sloppy too. And she's just like, all right, I'm gonna just go look at the books while you guys do whatever. And I was like, why are y'all
not professionals?
Oh my, like, like, oh my, it's one thing to be dressed down. Y'all dressed bad, like sloppy, sloppy, dingy. I'm like, all right, should I give you my money?
Yes,
is this a scam?
Is this a scam?
But like, I just went ahead and paid him on PayPal or something like that, and it was real suspect. But he came through in a suit.
Yes, sir.
On time.
On time.
Beautiful work.
Beautiful work.
I was like, Lord, you came through.
Lord, you knew, Jesus. Jesus, you knew what
because that's really what made it was the uplighting.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous in there, and that it just it was like I felt like I was dreaming. Honestly, like that was one of those moments that was very fairy tale dreamy. Like it pinched me,
That's nice. It's very
but
nice.
Anyway,
shout out to Sister the Robinsons. I'm sorry, Charnay and
okay. I think it's because you said the Robinsons, and I probably would have caught it if it was just her.
Yes.
No,
I can't remember the name of her wedding.
Hold on, because we should definitely.
Yeah, I'm about to shout her out right now. She's
Hold
getting
on.
a shout out. And I can see I can't remember the name of it, but they did, and this was before she even had formed it. I believe. I don't know. Maybe we were the catalyst. I don't know.
She definitely used our pictures from our wedding for her.
She should have.
Royal Legacy events.
Royal Legacy events. If
serving
you are
the tri-state area.
The tri-state area of, I'm sure there's a million tri-state areas, but the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. I'm sure Royal Legacy events would be an excellent. People who just know what they're doing, are astute, have good taste, and are professional and equipped to.
She's amazing.
Do what you need done. Do it in an excellent manner.
Yeah, she's
in a professional
amazing.
manner. Doing it as a plan that'll have you literally, speechless.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She was our day of coordinator.
Yes.
But she did like sit with us and talk about.
Yes.
Help us choose like what we wanted the decor to be and everything too. But like when it came, like mostly. Like I did conceptualize it mostly, but like she definitely helped me put it together and like just to know exactly what I wanted her to do, where it needed to be. But she made it better, because she knew what she was doing.
Yes.
She made it much better. So I'd imagine that if she was just straight up our wedding coordinator, it probably would have been even better because she would have, I'm not a decorator. So.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. All right, my last one
is your last one, number 10.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Well, take a guess.
I don't know.
My birthday weekend.
Oh, you're right. That was a great memory.
Last year for my 30th birthday, because of COVID, we couldn't like really do, we couldn't have a party or anything like that.
I wouldn't have anyway, but
okay.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so. Well, I don't know. I just felt like it was so like literally I woke up one morning and I come out to the kitchen and I look up at the cabinet and there's like paper taped to the cabinet doors and it's all pretty. And it's like Chelsea's 30th birthday weekend what did you call it? Like
celebration
agenda, basically, or something like that.
Itinerary.
Itinerary. It was like an itinerary. And like it was plans for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was like, what? And like I just was so caught off guard because we had talked about my birthday. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what we had agreed. I think all I said was I wanted Mexican food and to go shopping, which that was involved. Mm-hmm. Mexican food and shopping were included. But like it was a whole weekend. So like starting on Friday, we went to Sight and Sound Theater, which I hadn't been there since I was so little that I can't even really remember it that well. Mm-hmm. So we went to Sight, and for the record, like I'm into that stuff. Like I'm performing arts, artsy fartsy, yes, you know, like fartsy. That's my thing, you know. So like we go to Sight and Sound Theater to see Queen Esther, immaculate, yes. Immaculate and great pastries.
Phenomenal pastries.
So that was our Friday. He had gotten his mom to babysit on Friday. And we left. We went to Sight and... Did we have breakfast or something?
On Friday, we did have maybe breakfast.
I feel like we did have breakfast to go.
Or I went and got it.
Something like that.
I went and got the car and I got breakfast and bring it back to the house for us to eat before we left.
Right. So then we went to Sight and Sound. That was like a day trip. Mm-hmm. And then we came home. That was like great. And then Saturday... we had breakfast at the diner with a couple of friends and it was mostly family. It wasn't no friends. Family. I was picturing Tori and for some reason saying friends. Yeah. But like, yeah, it was just family there. So, yeah, we had breakfast with my family and he told them to give me money because I wanted to go shopping. So they were asking like, what should we give her? And he's like, give her money. Yes. So I get all these cards made out pretty good. And then he was like, yeah, I'm just going to keep the kids and you go out and go shopping and get your Mexican food. And that was my Saturday. And that was really cool. And then Sunday we went to Barclay Prime in Philly.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And
he got my mom to babysit that day.
Sure enough.
So we went to church first. And then in the afternoon, my mom came to babysit and we went to Barclay Prime.
Yes.
That was a very delicious meal.
It was.
Very elegant restaurant. Yes. But yeah, that was like, and on Saturday night, I had my basket of all of my favorite treats.
Yeah, I hit it. I hit a basket of her
He did.
Treats.
He hid it in his closet.
My armoire.
In his armoire, yes.
Because you don't go in there for anything. So.
Unless I was trying to get your belt or something, if I was getting your like work uniform or something like that. But it was the weekend, so
yeah,
I had no idea that was in there.
I forgot. Yeah, I got a bunch of all your favorite treats.
Oh yeah, it was like Pringles in there, and Reese's, and you got me dip too, right? You got me chips and dip. I feel like you did.
What I got.
And what else was in the Snickers?
I don't remember. It's probably Reese's more so. Definitely.
It was definitely Reese's.
Yeah.
It was things in there though. It was like a whole tote, like not a tote, but like like the type of little drawer you could put in like a organizer.
Yeah.
It was like that, full of all of my favorite stuff to eat.
It was for you.
It was for me.
So if there's any men listening, these are great gifts to give, man. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. Just find all of her favorite snacks.
Yeah.
Put them in a nice basket and give it to her. And she will be grateful for at least that month. Yes.
No, that was another one of those moments where I was flabbergasted because I was like, really? Like, you really did that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful memory, Chelsea. It's all for you, my love.
Thank you. How about you?
This is my last memory, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the day that we found out that Corey had perfect pitch.
I almost put that on my list, and I didn't want to be that big.
No,
I didn't want to come off as that braggy parent.
It's really not about her
mm-hmm.
so much as is like I began to realize, because when you're a Christian, it's like the Lord is working,
mm-hmm.
but you can't always tell in the moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're getting together and I love you, but I'm like, you don't think of it as like, no, this is the person that God has designed her life. Her life has been designed to match with yours in a way that you can't even really appreciate. We probably can never really appreciate. It's like,
yeah, wow.
the experiences you've had and the experiences she's had, they're made for each other.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And you've gone through things that matter to your marriage,
Right.
which is an interesting point. And I haven't even thought about that until I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything you've gone through, it mattered to your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And here you have a child who's like, you know, we didn't give her musical training. We didn't, you know, I mean, the most musical training she got was sitting in rehearsals, because
Yeah.
we did a lot of singing, we did plays and all that. And here she comes, she has perfect pitch.
Yeah.
As you know, perfect pitch is not something you can learn, I don't believe.
It's not.
It's not. It's like you have to be born with it. And I came to the realization, oh yeah, God put you together
And made this child.
and made this child.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have you two together for a reason.
Mm.
It's not just like you get along.
Right.
It's like, no, you were made for each other.
Wow.
So your child is going to reflect that union in a way
Wow.
that you
Oh, wow. That's
that
deep.
you didn't have anything to do. Like, I couldn't give her perfect pitch. Only God could give her perfect pitch.
Yeah.
But he gave it to parents that knew what to do with it. And he made her for that purpose.
Wow.
And that's my probably the most impactful memory when and realizing that she was that way is when it kind of just came full circle for me. It's like, hey man, I have everybody. I got all y'all. You were on a path towards something.
Mm-hmm.
I have you.
Wow.
I'm working on your life. I'm working it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting you in place. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't despise shortcomings. Don't despise bad things that have happened to you. They were there for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They're always there for a purpose, and I'm going to use all of them.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
That's so crazy you put that. I almost put that on my list. Like, I was very close.
Yeah. Well, the Lord knew.
Not for the same reason, though. You had a much better reason than me.
I was thinking that in my mind.
No, that's deep, though. Because, like, yeah, God really does, like, the DNA.
Yeah.
Like, he gives you the parents that you had on purpose to make you,
Right.
like, who you are. Like, I'm going to use your parents to, you know,
Yeah.
make you you.
Maybe you think about my parents. My parents
Yeah.
made me me. Your
Yeah.
parents made you you.
Yeah.
And there's certain
Wow.
things you don't like about everything,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to still use everything.
So true.
Whew.
I'll never forget the time I went through my dad's yearbook for the first time, because he passed when I was 12. And, you know, his yearbook is one of the things that, you know, like I have, you know. And but I didn't actually look through his yearbook, because I don't even know if I knew I had it. I think it was like in our garage when I lived at my mom's house or something, and I didn't even realize I had it.
Yeah.
That type of thing. But I was like in my early 20s by the time I ever looked. But like his yearbook and my yearbook are the same.
Same thing.
It was so insane. It's just like Michael in the talent show, Michael doing this, Michael in a play, Michael with, you know, like he just was like in a band doing this, doing that. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, that was so interesting to see. I was like, man, we're similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad used to write plays and stuff too. And I forgot about that, honestly, until this moment. But yeah, like, just I'm very, very, very much like my dad in the arts department. You know, very, very much like him. And yeah, it's just interesting because you don't think about a lot of that stuff as deeply. It's like so much stuff that we take for granted that, like, you know, I thank God all the time for like the things that I know to thank him for, and then all the stuff I don't even know about, because I'm like, Lord, I don't even know how good you are.
No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
You don't. But he is certainly good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We took a break from our 10 reasons on how not to get divorced.
Indeed.
So that we could celebrate our 20th episode.
Yeah.
With beautiful memories. It's good looking back down memory lane.
It is.
We don't have a scripture today, but if it was to be a scripture, it would be, get your lives together. No, it wouldn't. It would be, you know, two are better than one.
Amen.
They get a better reward for their labor, and if one should fall, the other one will be there to pick them back up. It's beautiful to know that I have you and you have me.
Amen.
And God has us all. and we just feel blessed. So we just thank you all for the support. Those who have made it to the end of the video, please give a like, subscribe, share. I wish I could get that out better. That sounded crazy. Like, subscribe. Yeah.
Do that.
Hey, y'all. Yes, do all of that.
All of that.
Like, subscribe, and share. It's not always just for you, but for someone who can be blessed. So,
Amen.
I love you, my boo.
I love you too.
Oh yeah, we love you, and we thank you once again for supporting. We'll see you next week, and we're gonna get right back into 10 reasons why not to get divorced with number 4.
Yeah.
Don't remember what it is, but it'll be on next week. All right, we'll see y'all then.
All right, bye.